Assalamu alaikum, guys. I hope we're all doing well. I hope we're blessed. I hope you had a good day. And if you didn't, well, I'm going to change that for today. Today, I'm going to stir up a few people right now. Today, I'm going to talk about a very, very important topic to me. As you know, your girl Salma, she's Somali and she's Muslim. Muslim first and Somali. Don't get it twisted. I'm going to talk about what it is like being... No, that's a lie. Scrap that. I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of the Somali community. Now, as you know, I am very, very proud to be Somali. Everywhere I go, I'm like, yes, I'm East African and I'm Somali. What are you going to say? Now, growing up, I'm going to get into a little backstory. And guys, please don't feel bad for me. Like, don't give me pity. I'm a grown-ass woman now, but I'm going to talk about it because I'm pretty sure there's multiple people going through this and I've met them. So growing up, I live in London. I'm from South, by the way. If you can tell, you can tell. If you can't, you can't. Growing up, being Somali, it was not rated. Now, the generation we live in is completely different. But back in the day, about 20 years or so, we were not rated. In fact, we were the most hated. Now, what was so sad is that it wasn't the Adam people, the Caucasian people coming for me. It was the black people that were coming for me. It was Malis versus Mados. It was Malis versus black people. And it was literally crazy because I had black people telling me I'm ugly, I'm black, I'm clapped, I'm a monkey, I'm a Zoo Mali. There was Islamophobia. I was called Osama bin Laden. I was being called terrorist. It was basically the kettle calling itself black. And I never understood. The hate never came from anyone else. It literally came from our own people, from our own community, black people. And I just was like, hey guys, we're not going to get into the whole topics of Somali black. Please, this is not the podcast for it. And it's not the platform for it. So whatever nonsense you have, please take it elsewhere. I don't do that nonsense. Now, growing up, like I said, it was very difficult. And I realized in the school that I was at, there was only about 2, 3 Somalis, but out of thousands of people, it was us versus them every day. They were like, Abahaun, Hoidaitis, Brisan Basta. Like, right now, people treat us very different. Right now, people are loving Somali cuisine. They're loving Somali culture. They're using our language as slang. They're saying hoyo, they're saying abo, they're saying guri, the brisan basta, basically it's our traditional dish that they used to cuss us with. They're eating it every single day at Brothers, at Al Kaf. Shout out to them, shout out to Sabib. There's so many beautiful Somali restaurants right now. I'm so proud of them. But yeah, like it's crazy. How did we go from being hated to being loved? And that's why I feel like some of it ain't real love. It's fake love. And we've become a trend. We've become a trend. And I hear people say, oh my God, I want a Somali girl. I want a Mali girl. Why? Why? Because what? It's a fetish. It's a trend. Why? Because all the rappers and all the artists are saying it in their songs. Like, to me, you can sense when it's fake love and real love. And I can differentiate the two. I'm not dumb. Do you know what I mean? So when people be showing me love, like people are like, oh my God, you're a Mali, da 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 da. Automatically, they've already put this perception of me in the head of Mali people are this and Mali people are that. And it's so sad because we're not like that. The way the world be perceiving Somali people, oh God, we're not like that. And I think that is every community because that is to do with like prejudice and discrimination and stereotypes. But I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of being Somali. So I gave you a background story of me being bullied in school. I'll talk about that topic another day. But today's topic is about the pros and cons, right? So I'm going to start with the pros. Now, one thing you can never, ever say about Somali people is that we're not funny. I don't know if it's our trauma, but I am one of the most unserious people in this life. I will literally joke and banter about everything. At work, after work, with my family, with my friends. Mahoy is like, you're never serious. It's because, I don't know, maybe I use my trauma as a way to laugh through my pain because my life it'd be crazy sometimes. I just be laughing it off. That's because if I don't laugh, I'll cry. That's the way I think. So I have never met a single Somali person that isn't funny. We all got crazy stories, all got stories about being beaten up, being chased, getting into fights, like just dumbness. And it's like, I've never met a boring person. So I feel like our personalities speak for ourselves and I love it. Two, we're very supportive. Oh my God. We are very supportive. As a community, hey, a restaurant will come out, everyone's there. A shop will come out, everyone's at that shop. Like, especially on social media and TikTok, when I used to have it back in the day, I see people promoting other people, supporting other people, and I love it. Like, it just shows, like, when we all come together in the Muslim community, in the Somali community, there's wonders that we can do, you know? Like, it's amazing. It's beautiful. Like, when I see my people coming together, it makes me cry. Because back home, our country's not like that. Like, there's so much happening with the government, with people, with politicians. It's just, if we can just come together instead of hating each other, we're unstoppable. Next, we're very ambitious. Ooh. Mm-mm, mm-mm. There is not a single parent that I know that isn't doing something. I know single moms with 6, 7 kids going work, going shop, doing care, doing business, doing this, doing that, doing hair, doing anything. And they're still putting food on the table and they're still praying and they're still collecting their kids, taking them to tuition, taking them to Duxie. Can't lie, Hoya's work ethic and all the Hoyas in the communities and the Arbors, we can't talk about it. Like, I thought I was a hard worker till I looked at my Hoya and said, yeah, Sama, sit down, sit down. You ain't nowhere near your mom. Like, hey, I will never forget. I called her on my first day of my big job. Before I used to work in retail at Amazon, Zara, them kind of stuff. When I called her my big 9 to 5 job, I'll never forget. I called my mom crying. Not crying, because the Naknol in me won't let me cry. And that's another thing I'll talk about. But I was just calling my mom like, Mom, is this what you did? Hoyo. Nolosha na kujurti. She's like, this is nothing. Wait till you have kids. I said, huh? That's why I respect anyone that has kids. Automatically, your respect level has increased by 10 times. Because me, like I said, I'm trying to survive in this dunya. And I'm trying to make it out. And I'm one person. Average salary in the UK is 25 bags. We'll talk about uni and all of that in another episode because I've got a lot to say about uni people, university and all of that. Average salary is 25 bags. You're getting 1.4 or 1.5. Your transport and your food is 400. I pay bills at home, that's another couple hundred. Then my food and my bills, all of that's another 400, 500. You're left with 200. Can people with kids, please, in the comment section, let me know how you're surviving with a kid. I really want to know. In this economy, hey, may Allah make it easy. That's all I got to say. And kids ain't easy. Hey, kids, I love kids. I want like 10 kids. If I can have 10 kids, amazing. If God gives me, amazing. But kids ain't easy. They're hard work. But Allah Mubarak, they're a blessing at the end of the day, so I don't care. But yeah, I remember I called my mum and I was like, "Hey, how you do this?" And she's like, "Bayo." She said, "Sister, I did it with 2 kids, single mom, had a shop, had employers, took you to school, took you swimming, karate, taekwondo, duksi Quran, madrasa, Quran classes, mosque, this, that. You went best tutors, you went Edmonton, you went the one in South, you went tuition here, tuition there. And I still didn't complain. Like, I can't lie, our moms, our parents' work ethic, they just make me look like a bum sometimes. Like, I feel like useless. I can't tell my mom, hey, mom, I had a bad day. You had a bad day? Because you need to understand, they have the survival in their head. Like, they've got this survival, like, mindset. Like, we got to survive. Like, they're on the survival mindset right now. So it's a thing of they ain't got time to be relaxing and chilling. Like, they're like on to the next. Like, goody God, I need to buy land back home. I need to buy houses. I need to do all of this. But anyways, I went on a tangent. Sorry, guys. Another pro is we're warriors. We're warriors. We're warriors. Ain't nothing we ain't been through in this life. Ain't nothing we've been through that we can't get through. You need to understand our parents fled Somalia, fled the civil war, came here, no English, no lag, no money, no job, didn't know English. They finessed the system in a good way, as in like they got the house, they got their kids an education, they got jobs, they own businesses, they buy houses back home, they got property, they got investments. our parents are warriors. There's nothing that my mom hasn't been through in this life. Anytime I come to her with like, oh my God, this happened, she'll be like, yeah, light work, that's easy. But you just got to do A, B, C, D. And I looked at her like, what? But yeah, warriors, Allahum barak. Another one, they're very smart. They are very smart. My mom has this saying where she says, Amos, which means be quiet, and Inda the Kafiri, which means look at people with your eyes. Don't talk too much. And me being a yapper, my mom's always told me it's not good for you to talk, because the more you talk, the more you tell on yourself. So never talk. This is the one I should have started with, but they're very deen orientated. I don't think I've seen any Somali parent that doesn't pray. The moment that Adhan comes, they are running. They are running to the masajid. High knees, they are running. The moment they hear Allah, they're running. They're gone. They're gone. You can't even hear them. They'll lock up the shop and they're running. I used to remember when I was young, my mum would be driving, the Adhan's going on. My mum would literally pull over, and she'll pray. I used to think, my mum, like, the mosque is, no, she'll pray. Aeroplane, she's praying. Bus, she'll pray. Train, she'll pray. Hey, in the kitchen, she'll pray. She don't care where she is. My mum will pray. My ayah is the same. All my aunties, all my uncles, they're the same. And I wish that's something that we should have taken from them, because I feel like we're lacking the deen aspect. But then again, we live in a westernized world, which makes it harder. But still, that's something that I wish we could have taken from our parents a bit more. Another thing, they're very community-based. Hey, if a janazah or a funeral happens, they are at that person's house and they've raised about 20 to 30K. They will hear a fundraiser, they're all putting in money. They will hear someone back home needs a surgery, they will all put in money. Our community, when we come together, unstoppable. Unstoppable. You can't talk to us. They're building a masajid, the whole community's coming. Someone wants to go Umrah, the whole community's coming. Wallahi, I'm so proud to be Somali. Alhamdulillah, and I'm proud to be Muslim. Another one, we are very hardworking. We are very, very hardworking. Like I said, I don't see a single Somali parent that is at home, unless they're raising their kids. They're either working. They're either raising their kids or they're working. It's always the two. If anything, they do both. So when people have the audacity to be like, you immigrants came to this country and you took our jobs. First of all, you didn't want your job. Second of all, how are we going to take the job if you didn't even want the job? And third of all, if you go to healthcare sector, majority are immigrants. If you go to schools, the majority are immigrants. If you go to any like businesses and stuff, majority is like ethnic minorities. So when you're talking about us immigrants, yes, we came to your country because we were fleeing the war, but we helped you build this economy and this. And anyways, let me not even get into that, because I'll just come for a few people in the government, but we'll talk about the government another day and what they're doing, because I do not agree. And last but not least, we're very charitable. We love giving. Now, I remember when I was like in my 20s, like early 20s, my mom would be like sending money back home, right? So I'll go to the Hawalid with her, the money transfer place, and she'll be sending. And I just be looking at my hoy like, Mom, you going to leave some for us? And she's like, no. Salma, when it comes to charity, your right hand should not be knowing what your left hand is doing. There's a saying, okay? Your left hand should not know what your right hand is giving. As in, you have to give and give and give. First of all, you don't boast, you're not arrogant, and you don't tell people what you're doing, okay? So my mom used to give and give and give, and I never used to understand. Like, we will have enough to survive, alhamdulillah. We were fortunate, we were good, we wasn't struggling. I just used to think, why is my mom sending all this money? Everything that I used to question about why Mahoy is doing it, I'm doing it now. I'm doing the exact same thing. When I realized charity does not decrease your wealth, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give. Do you know that the more you give, the more you'll get back? There are times where I don't even have anything for myself, and I will give. And wallahi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will open a door and someone will give me tenfold. Or I'll get a job with higher pay. Or my tax refund will come. Or I'll get paid double, or I'll get taxed less. Hey, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what's in your heart and He knows your intention. So if you give for the sake of Allah, He will give you back tenfold. If you are grateful, He will give you more. That's what I got to say on that matter. But that's the pros. Now I'm going to get onto the cons. Now, there is a lot of things in our community that I feel like we do that push our people away from the deen and from the community. First thing I'm going to start with is the Arab culture. Now, this one makes my blood boil. The reason it makes my blood boil is because the Arab culture, to anyone that doesn't know what Arab culture is, to silence people. We've got this saying where if something bad happens, like for example, if someone gets assaulted, it's don't talk about it, it's Arab. Like as in it's embarrassing. Like it will bring shame to the family. And I see this in a lot of ethnic minorities, so I know it's just not common within us, but we call it the Arab culture. Now, silencing people is an issue because one, people can't come forward. Two, there are important things that we need to spread awareness on. Like, for example, I remember there was an incident where I was in the car with my family member at the time. And I don't know if you guys remember, a couple of years ago during Corona, there was a girl, she was on YouTube or something, and she was on the phone with somebody, and she was talking about how she got assaulted by her dad and how her mom knew and how he got her pregnant and how it triggered her and how she has so much trauma. And it just broke my heart. May Allah make it easy for her and anyone that is going through stuff. And I remember I brought it up to my family member, and their first reaction was, don't talk about it. A huddling, almost. I thought, what did I say wrong? Like, why are they telling me to be quiet? They're like, don't talk about stuff like that. It's ebb. I'm like, ebb? What do you mean it's embarrassing? What do you mean it's shameful? We need to speak about these topics. Best believe when I have kids, they'll be educated. Are you dumb? I'm going to sit down with my kid and talk about every single thing. What you want to talk about? What you want to know about? I'm talking about everything. I don't care. Ain't no one silencing me or my kids. So yeah, guys, this F culture, I want to get rid of it. We need to start normalizing stuff. We need to, because the ummah is suffering. The generation is suffering. That youth is suffering. We're teaching them to be quiet and not to seek out for help. Relating to this is mental health. Now, I suffer with social anxiety. I never knew that was until Corona happened, and then I got diagnosed. And the first thing the GP said to me is, you want medication? And I said, what? And they're like, yeah, we've got pills. I said, I don't want pills. I don't believe in that. Yes, I come from a science background and I've got a degree in it. But no, for me, I've got my deen. And I'm going to tell you how anxiety is linked to the deen. And literally, I used to tell my family, like, I suffer with social anxiety. They don't believe me till now. They think it's the devil. They think it's shaitan. They're like, no. It's what Hagali Asha told you. It's like what these Adam people told you. They're basically trying to say is what this country has taught you guys, like this westernized country. It's not real. And I'm like, no, because if you look in the deen, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to make a dua against depression and anxiety every day. They don't want to hear it. It don't matter how many hadiths, how many dua, how many times in the Quran. They don't want to hear it. And that is where I have an issue. We have chosen culture over our deen. We have chosen daqan over our deen, and that is the issue I have. So yeah, mental health, especially men's mental health, it is the highest. It is at its highest right now. Do you know how many men suffer in silence? Too many people. Why? Because you can't be a man. You can't cry. You can't be weak. You got to be strong. It's killing our people. It's killing our people, but I'm going to talk about it later. But it's killing our people. And I'm done silencing our people. This platform, no one's silencing no one. Everyone's going to come here and tell their story. I dare anyone to silence anyone because it ain't happening. As long as it does not go against the deen, it's just not happening. So yeah, Arab culture, mental health. Another thing is we tear each other down. This is quite heartbreaking. When I used to have social media, I used to see mainly it would be our community tearing each other down. Now, you'd think for a community that is deen orientated and our deen is part of our religion, our deen is embedded in us, that you would expect us to be respectful and have akhlaq and character and good morals and values. We do. But can someone explain to me why there are two people, mainly women, which is quite sad, tearing each other down, cussing each other out, putting the evil eye on each other? Can anyone tell me? And we're watching it like fools. Also, we've got to take accountability. We're retweeting it. We're sharing it. We're sending it to our friends. We're in the comment. We're reposting it. and we're kicking, you're kicking. On the day of judgment, you will not be kicking. When that person comes and takes all your good deeds because you embarrassed them in front of 50,000 people, that's 50,000 good deeds you'll be taking from that person. You won't be laughing. I don't think people really understand how much of a how digital footprint will affect you. It will come and bite you in the ass one day. It will find you. And it'll find me on the day of judgment. That's why I want to be very careful the things I say on this platform. As much as I want to be Salma and unfiltered and be raw and authentic, there's a boundary. I would never ever want to disrespect anyone. I would never ever want to make anyone feel small. I would never want anyone to feel a type of way. Because I know at the end of the day, it will, on the day of judgment, I will be asked. And I already have my own book full of sins. I don't have time to be judging people. I don't have time to be looking at the next girl, the next boy. You're doing this, you're doing that, pointing fingers. I myself need to look at myself first. Because I have a lot of things I need to think about and fix myself. So when you're worried about yourself and you're doing you ain't got time to be worried about the next person. It's like when you're in a race and you're in a marathon, you're running. Are you going to be looking at the next people that are running besides you? No, because if you do that, you lose focus on your own race. So I'm going to focus on me. So yeah, in the Somali community, we be tearing each other down. And it's really sad. It's really disappointing. I don't know why women tear each other down for no reason. But that explains why a majority of women would be in a hellfire for backbiting and for being ungrateful to their husbands and gossiping. I mean, the Prophet Muhammad said it, so I'm not surprised. Another thing is a struggle culture. Now, I understand our parents went through a lot of things and they struggled in this life, but we have learnt to embrace this struggle culture. And I don't know why. Like, we know someone isn't good for us. Like, for example, a guy. But instead of looking at what he's presenting, we will marry for potential. Like, I've had a lot of aunties give me very, very bad marriage advice. They literally said to me, it's okay if the guy doesn't have deen. Huh? It's okay if the guy doesn't have character. It's okay. Let him just give you kids. I don't know what they thought this was, like a factory, like it's an Amazon warehouse. What do you mean, let him just give you kids? I've actually had aunties tell me, like, yeah, don't go for Qabil, go for tribe. Tribalism and Qabil is killing our people, guys. It's killing our people. That's a topic for another day. Qabil and tribes. SubhanAllah. Tribe and Qabil is supposed to be used to identify people. That's what it says in the deen. Not to say this tribe is better than that tribe. Sorry guys, any tribalists, please just stop listening. I'm not that person. You're wasting your time. But yeah, struggle culture is something that is glamorized in this generation. Struggle love, struggle culture. I can't lie, Mahoy was a single mom and she raised me and my brother in South. That was enough for me to see what struggle life was. She did her best, she did amazing, and she's still doing amazing. But if I can give my kids a better upbringing, I will do that. Nothing wrong with being raised in a council house. I live in a council flat and I was raised. But if I have the means to give my children a better upbringing, to raise them in a Muslim country, to raise them upon the taqwa and the deen, then that's my job. And I will do everything I can by means to be out of London. Because London will not catch me. It will not catch me. Another thing I want to talk about is the Naqnol. This one hits home. Now, I think a lot of girls will be able to relate to this, and a lot of boys, the Ninrag. Now, to anyone that doesn't know what Naqnol means, it basically means be a woman. Ninrag means be a man. Now, we say it in a joker banter way, but our parents take it literal. Now, the reason I feel like... Okay, let me tell you a story. So I had some family and relatives over the other day. And it was a little kid. He was a 3-year-old kid. He was playing with my cousin. She was a 1.5 years. And the mom shouted at the kid, like, what are you doing? Come here. Ninrakadehe. Georgie. Like, stop playing. In my head, I'm thinking, Habayr, auntie, he's 3 years old. Sadah Sano. 3 years. She's like, no. Come here. What are you doing? In my head, I'm thinking, what's going on? She was basically shouting at her kid for playing with the toys. She basically said to him, you're a ninrag. Basically, you're a man. What are you doing playing with a toy? The child is 3 years old and we are teaching. Oh, times like this just makes me wonder, what are we doing? what are we doing as a ummah? Like, we've got to do better. How are we telling a 3-year-old not to play with a toy and he needs to be a man? What? He can't even say 1, 2, 3. He can't even say Bismillah. He can't even say Alhamdulillah. He doesn't even know letters. He doesn't know vowels. He doesn't even know colours. He can only say Mama, Dada. How are we teaching a 3-year-old to be a man? Now, if that is what she's teaching him, to be a man at the age of 3, what do you think he's going to learn at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? What do you think he's going to learn at 20? We are not letting kids be kids. We are raising kids to be man when they're not even a teenager. Now, the reason why this is toxic is because growing up, I was the youngest in the house, and I grew up with my cousins and stuff, and I raised them, and I learned the term naqnol at a very, very young age, same as my cousin. And I didn't realize the impact it had on me until I grew up and I started speaking to people. Now, I've always been taught to be very independent. A lot of our parents have gone through trauma. A lot of them are single mothers. A lot of them, their husbands have left them to marry another wife or gone back home and taken the money. So a lot of them have this, I'm trying to be very careful with my words because I don't want to affect anyone, but I want to be real. A lot of them have this defense mechanism where it's like, don't depend on a man. Do you know how many times I've heard aunties when I was 11, 12 be like, don't depend on a man. Make sure you have your own money. Make sure he doesn't know about your money. Hide your gold. Hide your money. We have taught these young, beautiful guys and these young, beautiful girls this toxic narrative of don't trust no one. I believe that to an extent. But if I already have this mindset that don't trust a guy, be independent, don't rely on him, it wasn't until I started speaking to a guy for the sake of marriage that I realized I'm too masculine for a man. And that came from my childhood. That came because of the way I was raised. I became so independent to a point where I was paying all the bills at 18. I was looking after all my cousins, raising them all. I had 2 free jobs. I was going uni. I was doing everything. I was the plumber, the cooker, the electrician, the cleaner, the maid. I was everything. If a light bulb broke, Salma. Car broke, Salma. Electrician, Salma. Plumber, Salma. I did everything in my house. And I lived with like boy cousins and boy girls. Everyone relied on me, and I was the youngest. Do you know how mad that is? I became so independent that when I got to know a guy for the sake of marriage, obviously we do it halal over here, it was so hard for me to identify what I wanted from a guy because I've literally been a man my whole life. And that's why I say, being a single mom, the whole cannot be a mother and a father. It gets to a point where she got to be the father sometimes. So I realized I started having a lot of masculine traits. And I realized it was quite dangerous. So when a guy met me or was starting to speak to me, he realized this girl don't need me. And I can't lie, that's the energy I gave off. Like, what can you provide for me? What can you give me? I see a lot of women talking like this. And I know them in real life. And I realized how toxic that mindset was. Because the deen does not encourage that. But because of the way we were raised, I had to do a lot of unlearning. I had to get rid of a lot of toxic traits. I had to stop thinking everyone was out here to get me. I had to stop thinking like a villain. I had to stop thinking I'm a victim. It's a lot of things I had to unlearn. And that is what I want to unpack on this episode. How to better yourself, how to look at certain traits, how to look at certain behaviors in you, and how to change. Because a lot of us have not healed. And I encourage therapy. I'm even starting to go therapy now. I got my first session booked. I want to better myself. I want to understand my traumas. I want to understand my triggers. And the therapy that I'm going to is deen oriented. So they always link it back to the deen. And I'm so excited. And I want you guys to be on this journey. And hopefully one day I can bring my therapist on here to help us identify certain attachment styles, certain behavior patterns, certain toxic cycles that we're still in. But this naqnol and this ninrag, the whole be a man and be a woman, is damaging sometimes. Yes, I'm independent. Yes, I can fix a lot of things that people can't be fixing. Yes, I'm been doing everything my whole life. But when you get married and when you find a spouse, you need to be able to let go of that control and that power. And that to me was very, very hard. Because I've always, only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has always been in control. But when I say that I've been taking care of myself the whole life, I have never seen a man in my household. Until recently. until my uncles came over. I was so used to just being in a house and it's always depending on me. I don't know what it's like to ask for help. I've never asked for help. I just recently learned that in my mid-20s. I struggle with asking for help because my mom's always taught me don't rely on nobody. The aunties are telling me a man will leave you. The aunties are telling me don't trust a man. Don't fall for a guy. Don't marry for love, marry for money. This is the bad advice we're giving to the younger youth. And it's not even in the deen. So when I say I had to do a lot of soul searching, sister, brother, I'm not joking. I had to look within myself and realize, wow, Salma, sister, you've got a lot of work to do. And that is what I want our podcast to be about. Anyways, I can talk on for 50,000 million gazillion years and I still won't be done. Like I said to you, my life story is a bit cray-cray. We will get into that a bit further. Obviously, there are things that are off limits, like, you know, certain topics, which I got to be respectful about, or I won't be talking about certain people because of like personal reasons and stuff. But thank you guys so much for listening to the second episode. I'm entirely grateful. Thank you to every single person. Somali people are one of the most amazing people. And wallahi, when I come across other people, like if I help somebody or if I'm nice to someone and they're like, I love Muslim people. You guys are so lovely. Or I love Somali people. Or I love African people. I love black people. And it just makes me feel proud. Like, you know what? As much as there's so many things in our community we got to change, we'll be doing a lot of good. So if you could just take one thing from this episode, it would just be, what would I say? Be proud of the fact that you're Somali. Be proud of the fact that you're Muslim. Be proud of that hijab that you wear. Be proud of that culture that you come from, that ethnicity you come from. Doesn't matter where you're from. Be proud. Now, it took me a lot to get to where I am. I had a lot of self-worth issues and self-confidence, and that was due to my bullying and not being proud of my skin color and my race and my ethnicity and my religion, because people really came for me. But when I grew up, I realized how beautiful we are and how amazing everyone is. But yeah, I want you guys to take that message. Be proud of yourself. Acknowledge your wrongdoings. Work on it and become a better you. Thank you so much for listening to me. I've got a lot more topics I'm going to speak about, and I'm going to invite my friends and a few other guests. If there's anything that you loved about this podcast or anything that you didn't agree with, that's okay. Agree to disagree. You ain't going to always be on my side. That's okay. But we're going to be respectful around here. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you liked about it, who you would like me to bring on next. And yeah, I hope you have a blessed day. Say alhamdulillah. Don't forget to pray. And yeah, just realize how amazing our parents are and how much of an ummah, how amazing of an ummah we are also. Anyways, thank you guys so much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.